What is going on, legend? If you're watching this video, you've clicked on it for a reason. That's because you're probably acting like a freelancer and you're wanting to know how do you get out of this trap. Now, after coaching hundreds of video agencies over the years, there's been some really common trends that I've found across the board when it comes to taking that shift from being a freelance videographer into running a proper video agency. And what I found over the years, there's a lot of clients get stuck in this transition where they start calling themselves a video agency, but they're actually acting like a freelance videographer. So some of these might relate to you, and if you want to learn what they are, stay to the end of this video. The first key identifier, if you're still stuck being a freelancer, is you're still the bottleneck. And what I mean by this is, if you're going out there and doing every shoot, if you're the main person that your clients chat to, if you're doing quality control, if you're managing basically everything to do with the production side of things, you're still stuck in the freelance mindset, right? And even recently I was chatting to a client and was actually talking about him coming to one of our workshops. He said, I'll let you know, I've got this client who's going to give me a call to let me know if they need me to come film one of their shoots on Friday. And I said, today is Tuesday and you haven't scheduled your week and you're waiting on your client to message you. And he's like, yeah. I was like, I don't want to let this client go. If I miss the shoot, then maybe they'll drop me as a client. I said, dude, those are totally fine things, but you can't operate a business out of this constantly on the call, getting called out to shoots. And he's like, yeah, I get that, but what if I lose them? I said, well, you're running an agency. If you're a freelancer, yeah, sure, you can go out to every shoot. But if you're running an agency, you really need to think like an agency. And an agency, they don't just run out to every shoot. They have scheduled shoots where a client books them when they're available. And this is where, the first insight of this is if you're still the bottleneck in your business where everything is relying on you, you're still acting like a freelancer. Alrighty. The second point is selling quality over certainty. I've seen throughout the years, after coaching hundreds of video business owners, that if you're still selling quality, especially in today's age, and that's the only skill set that you have, you are going to get left behind, but also you're still acting like a freelance. And I was reviewing one of our clients' sales pitch decks. He's like, we're going to do the top quality, high quality 4K cinematic video. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? What is this? He's like, oh, but the clients care about quality. Yes, they care about quality, but what they really care about is certainty. And when you are transitioning to become a video agency owner, your clients are looking for certainty that you can help them solve the problems that they have in their business. If their problem is lack of leads, they need some sort of system around generating leads. If that's through organic content, if that's through long form content, if that's having a VSL, if that's having case studies, they want certainty that the videos that you're producing are going to provide them results and solve a problem that they want to solve. And if you don't understand that just yet, that's totally fine. But if you're still stuck in this selling quality, that you shoot high quality res, high quality Instagram reels, high quality highlights, you are still stuck in what I call a freelancer. You're just thinking like a video operator instead of thinking like a video agency owner. Because a video agency owner, they're positioning themselves as the expert in their field. They're helping their clients solve problems within their business. If it comes to lead gen, if it comes to building authority, if it comes to sales problems, if it comes to team hiring problems, creating brand assets to build and attract top talent. Video solves so many problems within inside a business, but the quality of video is not the thing that matters. And I remember years ago when I was filming in my video business, I used to shoot on a Canon 80. I copied Casey Neistat's camera setup. I had the Gorilla tripod. I literally had this Gorilla tripod. I had a $50 softbox that I got off Amazon. And for the shoots that we're doing, we literally shot in 1080p. We could shoot in 4K, but I was just like, man, this is going to make the speed of this video getting out so much slower. And where we even shot in Rec 709, we didn't even change the color, didn't even color grade. Now, for some of you video nerds out there, you're like, man, but you're not delivering high quality work. But here's the thing, the videos that we deliver for this specific client that I'm talking about generated them millions and millions of dollars in revenue over the years. They're still using these videos today. This is going on 6 years later. They're still using those video assets within their business because I didn't sell them high quality videos. I sold them on a strategic video plan, which one was a brand story video, one was multiple client testimonials that sit in the website, and they still use them today in their sales, their marketing, in their pitch decks, and those assets sit there for years to come. They won't even need to update them. They can update them if they want to get the high quality, but the quality of them is perfectly fine and has generated them a massive return on investment. So if you're still selling high quality reels and videos, and this is your main marketing message, you are going to get left behind, because someone can pick up an iPhone and literally go shoot high quality footage these days themselves. And why would they pay for a video agency if they're still acting and presenting themselves as high quality? So the big shift is you need to shift away from going, hey, we're super high quality, to, hey, here's the problem that you have in your business. This is how video solves that problem. And the third point is your calendar runs your business. Now, what I mean by this is if you look at your calendar and it is full of shoots, every single day you have a new shoot. When do you get to work on the business? This is something that I constantly have a conversation with my clients all the time. And there's one thing that I'd suggest you install if you're watching this video is a CEO day, a day to work on your business. If you look at your calendar and it's just full of shoots and you're doing less than $20,000 per month, you are what I call a freelancer. Again, you are broke. You are not running a proper business. You are out there day to day working, hustling hard. And if you really enjoy that, fantastic. But if you're in your late 20s or getting to it, where most of the clients that we coach probably have different commitments to when you're younger, you're probably getting a little bit older and you're making different decisions in your business. And when you're making these different decisions, these decisions are maybe having a family, getting married, buying a house. You can't run a business if you're running around every day, because you're going to burn out. And I remember the very first early days when I first started out, like I was running around like a headless chook, filming everything that I could possibly film, until I realized, and so grateful that I had a mentor at the time, to stop letting your calendar dictate your business. Start to create a calendar that makes your life work around, your business work around your life, not the other way around. So if you look at your calendar and you've got a lot of shoots this week, and then the next week you don't have any shoots, and that brings you anxiety, and you've got these feast and famine weeks, that's because you're looking at your business the wrong way. If you're running a video agency, you should have consistent recurring revenue, you should have retained clients, you should have set shoots that you book out months in advance. You know when you're going to be shooting, you know what days you're not shooting, you know what days you're editing, you know what days you're working on your business, and you also know what days you're working on training your team. When you start to think like a business owner instead of a freelancer, you start to have a calendar that works for you. I'm having some Mount Franklin lightly sparkling water. The fourth point is growth feels risky. If you feel right now like taking that next step, maybe hiring a team member, or investing in a coach, or investing in paid marketing, investing in branding your business properly, feels risky instead of obvious, then you're still acting from a mindset of being a freelancer. You're still going, I just want to get that next shoot, that next client. Instead of thinking not about just getting the next client, it's like, well, how do I get to that next level? And that next level, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 50 to 100K plus per month in your video agency. The next level requires a next level of risk, a next level of investment. If that's getting a team member, I know for a lot of people who get stuck at the 10 to 20K mark, is hiring an editor is scary. It's risky. If you see it risky and you see it scary and you don't take that step, you're never going to unlock the next level in your business, because to unlock different levels in business, you need to require assets, team members, different people to listen to, coaches, mentors, going to in-person events, learning from different people, getting those insights. But if you are still the bottleneck, you're still filming and you don't want to invest in a team, or you're scared of doing it, of course, you're going to stay exactly where you are. And this is where I see so many video business owners stay stuck, is between 10 to 20K per month mark, is they just scared of hiring an editor. And then they go to me, hey, the reason why I'm not hiring an editor is because I can't find someone who can do my quality work. That's not the actual reason. The reason is you're scared of actually investing in high quality editors. You might go and get cheap editors off Fiverr or Upwork, and then they don't work out because they're cheap. And then investing in someone too expensive, so, oh, well, I don't make as much money. That's business. Increase your product. Increase the price of the product. Hire someone talented. If you're going to hire someone from the start, hire someone who can grow with your business as well. In my world, we always hire someone who has the skill set and is willing to learn, and then making sure we bring them on board into our ecosystem of things that we are doing, the quality of work that we're doing. I also train them. This is really important. This is where, if growth feels risky right now, is investing time in training them because you're doing all the shoots, of course, it's going to take time. But if risk and like you're scared of taking that next step is coming up, you're still acting like a freelancer. If you want to stay being a freelancer, totally cool. But you didn't click on this video and you're not watching it this far because you want to step out. You want to step out of it. So these are some shifts that you need to make. And the fifth point is you confuse freedom with flexibility. if you want true freedom, it's not about just choosing your hours. It's about having predictable income, knowing that your needs are going to be met, be able to cover your rent, cover your expenses and more, and make a profit in the end without having to just choose your hours. When you're a freelancer, you can choose your hours, but you don't usually get to choose how much money you make because it's determined on the agency whoever's hired you, or it's determined on the clients that you have. And when you're positioned as a freelancer, it's really hard to sell retainers because people don't want to pay a freelancer and retainer. They'd rather work with an agency because agencies have certainty. They have this system, they have this process. And this is really the switch, is like, if you're still stuck being a freelancer and you want freedom and you want to have flexibility to be able to do the things you love, there's a cost. When you run a video agency, the cost is you invest in team and you have clients on board that are on retainer. When you're a freelancer, if you want to take time off, usually it means you're not going to make money, which leaves you wondering, shit, like I've got a job that I can choose my hours, but the income is inconsistent. It's up and down. And this is where I see most freelancers get stuck, is they love this freedom of choice, that they can choose the work that they want to do. They can choose the clients, and it's great. And then you work really hard for, say, a couple of months, and then you get burnt out. So you take some time off, and then you use the cash that you earned that month to kind of fulfill that holiday that you have. And then you're stuck on this like hamster wheel where you're having a little bit of time off, but you're stressing about that time coming up because you have no income coming in because you are the bottleneck. You've taken the time off. The business doesn't run unless you're filming. Your business is based on the amount of shoot days that you're doing, not about the amount of clients you have paying on a recurring basis, right? Which is where a lot of video businesses get stuck. And it's usually between that 10 to 20K month mark where you want consistent work, but you also want to have some time off. So you're choosing freedom, you want freedom, but sometimes choosing to have that freedom of being a freelancer actually keeps you exactly where you are, which you can't pursue like financial goals, maybe buying a house, saving for a wedding or a new car or anything like that. So you're stuck in this trap where based on where you want to go depends on how many shoots you do. And if you're like me, I don't like doing a lot of shoots. I remember one time I used to shoot weddings, and I didn't shoot a lot of weddings because I hated weddings. And this is the whole reason why. The amount of money you made was based on how many weddings you would do. So basically your whole calendar for the whole year, you could book out every weekend of the year. All your weekends are gone. You could earn really good money being a wedding videographer and wedding photographer. I had a mate who used to be a wedding photographer. Many clients I've coached over the years have been wedding videographers. They've all said the same thing. Their weekends are gone. Their freedom is gone. Yes, they get to work they get to take the week off, but they miss out on weekends. They miss out on their friends' weddings because they're off filming weddings, and they're constantly chasing the next wedding because weddings are not recurring revenue products. They're a once-off, unless the person is getting divorced and getting married again within 6 months. Most cases isn't the case. So to kind of finish this video off and to give you a bit of a key takeaway from this is transitioning from being a freelancer to a video agency owner isn't about just learning new skills. It's actually letting go of the identity of the business that you have. So if you want to take that shift and running a video agency and you want to have more money, you want to scale to 30, 50K plus, even 100K plus per month. Some clients we coach are at that right now. You want to take that shift. It takes making a shift from the identity of a video agency right now. You need to shift into that. What does a video agency do? Do they take on random ad hoc shoots, or do they have structured calendars? Are they the one doing all the shooting? No, they're not. They have a team. Are they the one doing all the editing? No. If you're doing all the editing right now, this is a wake-up call. You need an editor. Stepping into that version that you want to come is the hardest thing. Not the skills. The skills to learn how to grow a video agency, super simple. And if you haven't hit subscribe to my YouTube channel just yet, we teach a bunch of skills, understanding funnels, marketing, offers, all those things on this channel. But it's the shift from freelance videographer, the mental shift, and making the decision that you're going to build something that is proper, which is a video agency. So if you found this video helpful, love to hear your thoughts down below. Are you still stuck in that freelance mindset? What is keeping you trapped? If something is, what is keeping you trapped that's stopping you from making the decision to hire? Maybe it's making that step to invest in a coach or mentor. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video, and make sure you hit subscribe and watch out for the next video.